All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the HBCU Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Stevens, the HBCU Sports writer, contributor, and podcaster, and I have a very special guest today. I am joined by the head coach of the first place in the Coastal Athletic Association Women's Division for Women's Basketball, North Carolina A&T head coach Tarrell Robinson. Coach Robinson, thanks for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. My pleasure. I'm glad that I got the invite.
Thanks for coming on, and we'll get right to business. Your girls are 14-9 right now, 10-2 in the Coastal, and obviously coming off of a year where you guys made it to all the way to the women's NIT semifinal. Just what was the coach's message coming into this season after such a successful year last year?
Finishing what we started. Like, there's an amazing level of buy-in when you have that type of run in the tournament, and the way we performed in the CAAs prior to. We just came off a tough loss to the then regular season champion Stony Brook in the semifinals. So just wanting to finish the job that we started, knowing that the things that we talk about, the things that we pride ourselves with on our campus is good enough to put us in position to win a championship.
And you returned a lot of talent from last year's team. Obviously, Jordan Dorsey, your leading scorer, Malia Bracone, one of your aces on the defensive end. Shania Clark is having a great year at the center position. Just how important was it for you to get the buy-in from the girls that are returning and then also integrate some new pieces? Who are some of the new pieces that have, helped this team reach first place in the Coastal so far?
Yeah, like having, Jordan, Malia, Shaq, you forgot, Paris Locke, who had a fantastic freshman year and having a sensational sophomore year for us. Having them, as far as the early part of the season, a lot of our drills, a lot of our culture, a lot of our habits, having them really hold, the new women. We had four transfers and 4 freshmen, really hold them accountable. And even right now, like, they're still who we're relying on while, giving some of those newer players, spotty minutes. Like, it's a hit and miss with a lot of them in regards to how we defend, knowing scout, knowing our offenses. So it's really, that core 5. And one transfer in particular, Aja James, who's really right now leading the CAA in 3-point field goal percentage, which is one of the reasons that we brought her in, someone to help us create, a lot of space. And she's been able to do that. So it's been those 5 or 6, and then just kind of depending on who has a good practice, who shows Coach Rob that they're bought into what we're trying to do to get the victory as far as our freshmen and our other transfers.
And just, how important was it for the defensive? How important is it for the defensive side for a ball for you guys to kick? Because you guys are only allowing about 55 points a game. Just when you're able to limit teams like that in a league as deep as the Coastal, just how does that increase your chances for victory, in your opinion?
Man, any coach that is won championships or that's trying to win championships knows that it starts on the defensive end. A couple of things that can happen defensively. Not only do you stop teams, but sometimes defense can transition to easy offense. And every coach wants, an easy 2 or 3 out of transition. We really pride ourselves on it. That is our standard, understanding who our opponent is going into games. And as I talked about freshmen and transfers being able to play, that's the first way that you can get on the court here at North Carolina A&T State University.
And let's talk about the home court advantage that Club Corbett provides for your girls. We were those of us in the media, we were able to watch your WNIT run, and it looked like a party every single game. Just when you have that sort of campus camaraderie where the other athletes are showing up, their classmates are showing up, their professors and administrators are showing up. Just what does that do for not just the pride of the team, but for the buy-in and build for the program?
Oh, no, it creates a tremendous amount of buy-in. The WNIT, like the setup for that first round was being able to play our city rivals, the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. Like, that set the tone, when you're talking about in March, having only, 2 women's teams with 20-plus wins in the city of Greensboro, where there's no more basketball, college basketball, but that show. And that was a great game, and us being able to play well and beat them, obviously, catapulted the next round and the following round. We had a fantastic finish against Old Dominion in the second round. Malia, how she got the nickname Big Shot. She knocked down a three that was able to get us a victory against Old Dominion. And then it transitioned to that obviously that semifinals round against a really good Troy team. And that transitioned into, this year. We've had a lot of really good teams. We currently lead the CAA in attendance. We brought the top 25 University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I laugh about how many ticket requests I got. I got more ticket requests for that game than I got all year. But you bring one of the best mid majors, another HBCU, Norfolk State, into our gym, so our fans know they're going to get good basketball, and also they know that they're going to help us hopefully come out on the right end of that good basketball. And and to think about 3 years ago, well, actually 4 years ago, that we were doing double headers. And when we made this move, one of our concerns was, can we survive without the men? And we're doing that. And it's because of the brand of basketball, the type of athletes we have, and the tremendous support of our administration and our community.
And just talking about, the HBCU aspect of things, when you guys, because you've been with the program for, is this your 12th year or 11th year?
13.
13.
One up you that. Yep, 13 years.
That's a long time. That's a great thing. So you've seen this team go from the MEAC to the Big South and now the Coastal. Just what has that adjustment been like for you as a coach, going out to recruit and get players to buy in who may be familiar with North Carolina A&T, because of course North Carolina A&T is always at the top of that Forbes list for public HBCUs. But when they see that it's not going to be a HBCU heavy schedule, they're going to see their fair share of PWIs and mid-majors. Just how does that affect your recruiting, and how have you been able to convince kids to buy in and see that they're still going to be able to have that HBCU experience and also win at the same time?
Yeah, it obviously it gets you into the door of in the room with different kids and AAU coaches and high school coaches. One of the biggest things, that the message that we want to send is, on all landscapes of basketball, winning basketball is a certain type of way. And we've been able to have transition of success in the MEAC, the Big South, and now the CAA, to tell the young women that it doesn't matter in terms of it does, but it doesn't. From an HBCU standpoint, it does, our culture, our tradition, but that shouldn't be slighted or stereotyped like the basketball is bad, and hopefully we can, which I really want to do, is complete the mission that we have this year. It just continues that understanding that, basketball can be played everywhere, but good winning basketball, like what's happening at Norfolk State with my guy Larry Vickers, and obviously what's happening here at North Carolina A&T State University, like, it's special, and kids and families should want to be a part of it. The other great process of it is that culture, that tradition, that real family environment. When I'm talking to recruits and I talk about family, I tell them there's 3 levels to it. There's the level that some PWIs are talking about, that is just generally their team. Then some can say the athletics department, meaning there are going to be other athletes that look like you. HBCUs, we talk about the community. We talk about all 3 levels: your team, the athletics department, your teachers, your friends. Like, you're going to have friends outside of athletics. The person at the cafeteria who's going to hold you just as accountable as your professor. Like, that's the true family environment that HBCUs provide, and that's what I talk to recruits about.
It's funny you mentioned that cafeteria worker, because I started thinking, as soon as you said that, I was thinking about a different world, and how every HBCU has like a Mr. Gaines. If anybody's ever seen a different world, there's always that one person on campus that may not be a professor, may not be a coach, but they're gonna stay on you. And I think that's one of the awesome things that our schools provide. But just getting back to the basketball for a second, the Coastal is a super deep conference. I'm not sure if every team makes the conference tournament, but just
they do.
Okay, so that's 15 if I'm not mistaken. Golly.
14.
14. How much of a landmine atmosphere is that for your team, and how do you prepare them for an anything goes type of scenario that's probably going to happen again starting March 12th?
Chris, I don't know if you know our history, but we have consecutively in the 3 years that we've been in this league started 9-1, been in first place, the same position, and finished, second or third, in the conference. And I think that goes to your point of the quality of coaches and quality players in this league. And right now, my message to our team is, right now, like, mental toughness is the biggest thing. At this time of the year, everybody is seeing anything that we're going to do offensively, anything we're going to do defensively. Now it's about which team is going to have the mental toughness to execute each possession. Like you'll throw a wrinkle in there to throw a team off, but you're only going to do that as maybe one possession because these are really good coaches, and those are lessons that I've learned, in our 3 years. Like we've always started our first 9 games 8-1, sitting in first place. Obviously, we're 10-2 right now. We want to finish the job, and the only way we're going to do it is having an elite level of mental toughness.
Coach Tarrell Robinson, definitely want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Obviously, if you guys are wondering, Coach Robinson is actually on the road right now. They play William and Mary tomorrow, and then they'll host University of Delaware on Sunday afternoon. Oh, before I forget, there's the women's alumni game on Saturday. Just how before we get out of here with that, just how important is it to have the returning Aggie women come by and see how the program has progressed and get their flowers at the same time?
This is one of the first time that we've been able to do this where we really set a date with a ample amount of time for our alum to come in and see where our basketball is currently with our program. Obviously, in this space of NIL and really needing help in those spaces, like it gives them an opportunity to see the product. A lot of them are doing great things, can really help and enhance our program. Some are already doing that. So building again that word family, extending it and then extending that hand out to them, and hopefully them being able to help our young women, whether it's in career once they finish up, and obviously right now, which we really need.
All right. Once again, Coach Robinson, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Chris. Take care, man.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for watching this edition of the HBCU Sports Podcast. We greatly appreciate y'all's time as always. You can follow us on all manners of social media: Facebook, X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. We're everywhere. Just look for HBCU Sports. If you feel like donating, go to donate@hbcusports.com on Zelle or hbcusports.com/donate for the website, because it costs money to be able to bring on great guests like Coach Robinson and everybody else that we talk to in the HBCU space. So we greatly appreciate y'all's help with that. So thank y'all for watching it. Until the next time we see y'all take care of yourselves and each other.